Hey guys, welcome to Dodd Camera's YouTube channel. Today, we are each going to tackle a lighting setup that we've never tackled before. The lighting setup I've chosen today is to backlight with color and then have an accent with a contrasting color. So my backlight, I have the L600C from Profoto. It has a red gel on it right now. The L600C is actually a really cool light because you can choose the filters. So you have like leaf filters, Roscoe, anything you want. So I have that with a 3x4 foot Profoto softbox. And then in front of that, I have a 2x3 foot Matthews flag. And then as my accent light, I have a Nanlite Pavotube 15. So I'm shooting on a Sony A1 Mark II with a 135 G Master f1.8. And right now I'm at ISO 1600 because there's not a lot of light, especially when you're using continuous light with the RGB function instead of using a strobe with gels. So because of that, my ISO is going to be a little higher than I want it to be. So I'm at ISO 1600, I'm at f1.8, and then my shutter speed is going to be 1/160. So I can take a look here, can frame this up, and I mainly just want to see the profile here. So I have Matthew at a nice profile, Matthew chin down just a tiny bit. Split the difference, perfect. Perfect. So as you can see here, you're really getting this nice edge light with the red, and then you're having that fill with the blue. So just a lighting setup that I've never tackled before, so let's move on to the next person.
Hey, my name is Matthew, and today I'm trying a lighting setup that I haven't tried before. Today we're going with this, so we're using the Profoto B30 along with the Profoto small spotlight, along with just a giant roller stand, but you could use any kind of stand for this, but I chose this because I want to get this above my subject, and Tyler's pretty tall, so we want to make sure that the light goes over him. The camera I'm using today is a Fuji GFX 102 with a 63mm f2.8 lens, and then just, Profoto Connect to trigger the lights for the camera. So yeah, basically just setting it up so that the spotlight goes over the subject, but is still like hitting the back wall. And that's honestly all there is to it. There's not a lot of bounce or secondary lights. It's pretty much just a one light setup using black and white filters on the Fuji to make a sort of a silhouette look to it. So yeah, cross arms like that is perfect. Actually, I might step over this way a little bit. Yeah, there's good. And then Fuji autofocus, there we go. Yeah, right.
You want to show us?
Yeah. This is what we end up with. Sort of like a full moon, black and white sort of silhouette look. We took a couple others earlier. Just goes to show that you can have a lot of lights in a setup, and that's really nice, but you can get something very interesting just using one light, one attachment, one stand, one camera, one lens. So pretty simple, but it was a setup I haven't tried before, so yeah.
Hey, my name is Taylor, and this is my light setup that I did. I used the Profoto L600C and this spot light from Profoto, which is also really cool, and this little SmokeNINJA guy that you just kind of like blow into the light to create like a little bit of like a haze, and also to create that like effect of like a stream going through. And yeah, that's what I did, and Caspar helped me take the photo. We used a Canon R5 Mark II with a 24-70 2.8.
Hey, my name is Tyler, and this is a lighting setup that I haven't necessarily done before because I'm using the light more as atmosphere mood rather than hitting the subject directly. So, as you can see, I have my little scene here, and I have never done like mood lighting. I've done just directional subject lighting. So, we're trying it out, seeing how it goes. Taylor is going to be my subject. So, Taylor, go and pop a squat on the box. See, the one thing that I am nervous about here is I don't want it to be super backlit, and that is one thing I am a little nervous about, which she is. So the mood is great, but my subject's still dark. So how can I do that without ruining my mood? The question is, because I'm going to use this. Is that too bright? All right, so I added a Profoto D3. It is a strobe, but I'm using it just for its modeling light properties because I don't want to use strobe for this. All right, Tay. We don't want to look at the camera. We want to create some kind of mood or emotion. There you go. Beautiful. Bring maybe a hand up to the collarbone. Loosey-goosey, loosey-goosey, loosey-goosey. There you go, there you go. Don't act like it's posed. Just like, ah. Beautiful. Hold on, everybody. Somebody set this into auto ISO. Some chump. There we go. Now we've done this before. Bring a hand out towards the edge of the lens. This one.
Not looking?
Don't look at me. Okay, look at me now. Follow me, follow me, follow me. Look past, look over here. There you go. Chin down just a little bit. Now look directly at the light over there. Let's move your hand under it. There it is, 3, 2, 1, beautiful. I'm just gonna do a kind of 180 around you, just capture different moods here. Now look right at me, chin down. Bring your focus over here. Follow my hand. There you go. Head slightly to the side, other way. There you go, close your eyes. One more. Not allowed to make fun of the way I posed in that. Thank you.
Hi, this is Rye with Dodd Camera. Today we were playing with some lighting. I wanted to do something I hadn't done before, something I've been thinking about. I love shapes, so I started out with the Spot Small by Profoto and had it on a Pro D3 just to really blast as much light as I could because I was fighting the power of this constant light, the Profoto L600C. Got them to match up, flagged off some of the constant light so I could get a nice, rich, dark background, really nothing but black, and then that nice triangular shape that I made with the gobos inside of the spot. And then did some fun connecting with the phone through the Sony A7 R5. So connected that bad boy to my phone through the Creators app. That way I was able to do a self-portrait. This lens is something that I've been wanting to use for a while. I just picked up one myself. It is the Sirui 85mm 1.4 for Sony E-mount. It is a very affordable lens and a very sharp lens and great autofocus, which didn't really pertain to this specific situation because I was doing manual focus because there was a lot of, it's very dark in here. So yeah, and basically what I did was I just lined everything up, connected it to my phone, and then did some fun little back-breaking techniques here on just a little self-timer. That way I could, give myself time to get into the position. So I give myself about 2 seconds. And then that's what we get.
Lighting setup I wanted to choose, I want to do some top-down lighting. I've kind of always known what it looks like, but I've never tried it myself. I also wanted to use that as an excuse to try out this Chimera Octa Plus 5.7, which is a 5-foot octabox with 7-foot extension rods. So this is a 7-foot octabox connected to a D3. So very powerful light, very large softbox, very beautiful soft light. But I also wanted to enhance it a bit with this 90mm tilt shift on the Canon R3. So I've always wanted to use a 90 tilt shift for portraiture because I can isolate certain parts of a subject. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And I'm doing it from a top down because it'll accentuate the tilt shift. So yeah, that looks awesome. So basically it has isolated her eyes, but like on a typical lens, everything would be in focus because lenses focus front to back, but the tilt shift, you can adjust it up and down, left and right, side to side. So I pretty much isolated just her eyes where everything else out of focus. So it has a very unique portrait look.
Hey, this is Danny over at Dodd Camera. I'm using a lighting setup today that uses kind of a principle that's used a little bit more in video, but you know, people will still use it in photo as well. I'm just trying to use strobes and the way that I know how to use lights in video so that I can kind of learn to embrace strobes a little bit more. So today we're just trying out a box light. I've got a box light. It's a light sandwiched in between a diffusion and a soft bounce floppy. And then I've got a flag just to cut off any shadow or any spill onto that wall. On the other side of that flag, I've got a spotlight mount on a light with a little gobo to kind of create the shape of a window. So we're kind of creating a large source as if something were coming through the window, and then putting something up against the wall to further emphasize the point of the window. Obviously we're in a studio and it's pretty noticeable, but at least it's like a creative choice and an explanation of what that large source is. So we'll give it a shot. Actually, let me spin you that way. I keep doing Caspar at a profile, but it gives him a nice soft key, but it also gives him a little bit of a catch light in the eye. And when you get a nice large source, the catch light isn't super obvious. So these are all things that you can rent here at Dodd. So if you want to try a book light on your own, we'll have the stuff here. Thanks.
Hey everybody, Alex here from Dodd. We are doing this challenge where we're doing a lighting setup that we have never done before. So I came in here without much of a plan at all, if any plan, but I've kind of been interested in messing around with reflectors a lot lately. So I did somewhat of a lighting setup I've done before. I put on the 15x Pavotubes. I've got this one kind of doing a little cyan, sky blue. That one's an little hue loop to just give it a little bit of change between the shots, but I've got it on a very short hue loop, so it's pretty much only going from blue to maybe a little of a purple. Down there, I've got a 120, the Aperture 120D. I put a little orange gel over it to warm it up a little bit more and just kind of bounce a little more warmth out of it. This one is the Profoto L600C. It is a constant light from Profoto, which is cool. And so I've got that one going off of this. And then I just covered it in reflectors, and my lovely model here, Rye, has been gracious enough to let me just blast his eyes with as much color and as much reflection as possible. And I'm kind of using that gold backdrop to just add a little texture to it and kind of get into that. I've got a silver one up in front here, so I've got both sides kind of presenting a different shine, if you will. Turned off all the overhead lights and kind of let it rip. The camera and lens I'm using, because I can, I'm using the Z8, and I've got the 85 1.2 on there because I want to just sort of destroy the background. I want to get the bokeh nice and blurry. I want to get his face in real good focus so you can't really see what's going on. Just kind of want it to be a sea of shiny colors. That's kind of the goal. So that's what we got going on. Let me show you how it looks. And then Rye, if you can just look right at me. Perfect. And then look kind of this way. Shift your weight just a little bit. Perfect. You're giving good old-fashioned Batman villain, dude. It's great. I'll show you some other ones that I got a little bit earlier. But as you can see, we're getting just a really nice color profile on all these. And that is the lighting setup. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna do this again. And yeah, that concludes our episode.